Designed the solid body guitar, invented through the, I don't know if these guys could actually explain better the process he went through with the railroad tracks, the stuff he took from the railroad tracks and put on it the log. The first prototype was called the log that he invented.
It's like the one of the first ones had a sort of a railroad 4x4, a solid piece of wood. And it went seamlessly all the way, the length of the instrument, and then he put the sides upon that, and that was the crude prototype. That's how he started to get the solid body concept.
The reason for that was that you get more sustain. Actually, he did it on a railroad track, the way you were saying, a railroad tie. And as the train, he had a train track behind his house. And he used to listen to the trains, and that's how he got that sustain, if you know what I mean by sustain, like we've heard. Can you answer that one? Because you know about that.
I think, aside from the electric guitar, Les had a great love for the acoustic guitar. In fact, there's early pictures with the harmonica and a cowboy hat, playing a beautiful Gibson guitar. And once I bought a D'Angelico, a very rare guitar, from George Barnes, and I took it out of the case, and at that same moment, Les pulled up to my house in his car in Saddle River, New Jersey, and I said, "Les, try this guitar out." I went, boom, wow. He said, "Let me take this home." I said, "Yeah, take it home." You know, a year later, I saw the front page of our local paper. It said, "Les Paul playing his music at home on my guitar." So I called him right away. I said, "Les, I want the guitar back." He said, "I'll give you 2 Les Paul guitars for it." I said, "No thanks."
I had heard that he actually had an experiment where he took a phonograph needle and attached it to an acoustic guitar to get the original
that's right.
amplification. It's pretty amazing. I mean, his mind was always searching in a lot of ways. It's great.
Yeah. And he did that throughout his whole life. I mean, even the last few years, right? Every time he turned up on a Monday, he had tweaked something on the guitar. It was different every Monday. Did you notice? It was often a different guitar, but also the wah-wahs, everything was in a different...
He was never satisfied with the sound. Always wanted to improve.
Yeah, always.
Always wanted to improve. Constantly, every week. And then he would say, "Nicky, do this on the bass. Lou, do this on the guitar." In other words, we changed all the time to get that sound he was looking for. And he still, I said, "Les, you've got it. It sounded so great on recordings," but he was never satisfied. Never satisfied. And by the way, his recordings, if I could tell you about his recordings, after the A-track came out, there were 2 A-tracks made by Ampex. He had one, and it's still in Mahwah, New Jersey right now, in the museum. And one went into Ampex and went to the museum somewhere in California. When the A-track was put out, Les Paul and Mary Ford never got a hit record on that A-track in the house. And not the reason because of that. If you know what 8 tracks mean, and then they have 16, 32, 34, 65, whatever they have today, you're doing a track, they have to mix all these tracks into one. Les would record on one recorder, take that recorder, play it to another recorder, and record into that recorder, so that would be sound on sound to that recorder. Les would sing again. They could never get that sound again. You will never get the Les Paul Mary Ford sound that they had, right, on records? And he was just a genius with that. And when you have the 8-track, 16-track, it just doesn't make it. Does not make it. Doesn't make it. They did Vaya Con Dios was the last big one I think they had. That was with the 2 tape decks that they used. Sound on sound.
Lou, what about the tape speeds? He used to record things at various speeds. And he would use, to get a certain tonality, he would use a certain speed, not any conventional speed, but it didn't even have to conform to a proportion of the key he was in. He would just change it according to the sound he wanted.
And how did he do that?
By speeding it up to a certain...
But remember how he did it. His grandmother, or his mother, had a piano with the rolls.
Oh, that's right.
And that's when you when you pump
Piano
the
rolls.
rolls, and
Play your piano.
it stays in the same key.
Yeah.
That's the thing. That's whereas when you speed up a tape, you're in another key. So he figured that one out. He punched holes in the piano rolls, remember? So
You know, he used to plug them up too.
and plug some of the holes up, and
Holes, and he would
play
plug them
piano
up.
rolls. If you know what piano player rolls are, the younger people, it was a upright piano, and they had paper rolls, and you perforated, and you pumped them years ago before they came out the electric, and it would play the song. You'd see the keys go down, and the song would play. Now they do it electronically. They have a digital.
Then it was pneumatic.
Pneumatic. And he would just plug the holes up, punch holes in, and so he was always doing something. Like Bucky. Bucky was always into something. It was great though.
Well, Les called me one night and said, come on over to the house. I want you to record with this guitar player I have. I said, who is he? He says, his name is Thumbs Carlisle. He played with 2 thumbs this way. Faster than Art Tatum played the piano. So we went up, we stayed till 2 in the morning recording with him. I wonder if you can get a hold of that account and see if he's got that track.
We should find him. Thumbs Carlisle's wife was pregnant.
Huh?
She was pregnant. His wife was pregnant, Thumbs Carlisle, when you were there doing that.
Yeah.
And she was running up the hill and everything. And if you don't know who Thumbs Carlisle, he played with Dang Me, what's his name? Roger Miller. Roger Miller. Yeah, he was. We'll look for that tape.
Oh, please.
That Bucky paid. What about Les's playing? I mean, he was with Nat King Cole. He did all kinds of different things. I mean, he was as a guitar player. It's like very seminal.
Well, he was playing with Nat King Cole before Nat even sang.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, exactly. All those incredible. What's that amazing recording of them playing fours together? Live at the.
We did a concert with about 6 guitar players. Lorenzo Almeida and George Benson was there. And Les went out and bought George's album, learned everything he had on the record, and played it. So when he played it on stage, Les answered him back.
No, it was the Esquire Award concert. And Les was filling in for Oscar Moore, who was a great guitar player with Nat King Cole. And Les played with them, and you can hear the evidence. He really, kicked some tail up there, Him and Nat King Cole, the exchanges were the brilliant technique of both players, and in a playful spirit can be heard on that. It's amazing. And that's before all the duets with Mary Ford and all that.
We had a request from the audience for a question about the guest guitar. Can anybody talk about the guest guitar? The guest guitar. Yeah.
Well,
the guest.
You never played that one, but Steve Miller says it on tape on a video that I have called "Thank You Les." It's on "Thank You Les," and he says it's called the Stooge guitar. Is what Steve Miller called it. Beautiful, beautiful guitar on the piano. And with the gold plating and gorgeous guitar. When anyone would come in, the first thing Les would say, "You want to come up and play?" Like for instance, Billy Gibbons from ZZ Top. Or they'd come up on stage, and we don't have my guitar. Well, we have one here for you. Well, one night he gave it to Billy Gibbons, and Billy Gibbons says he just kept turning the B string, and it just detuned and detuned and detuned and never tuned. And Les would do that just for a joke all the time. And at one time, Steve Miller was there playing with us, and we were there tonight. I broke a string, and Les says, "Get the guitar on the stage." And then Steve Miller goes, "No, no, no, no." But that was, we called it the Stooge guitar. But it was a gorgeous looking guitar, except it was never in tune. Never in tune.
Well, when my son and I first played with Les, he knew about that. So he knew that Les would untune his guitar while he was playing. So he moved over this way. And Les pulled the plug off the guitar instead.
He used to do that with Mary Ford while she was singing. He had control of the microphones. And he would grab the wire like this when she was singing, and he had the volume control on his guitar. And he would make it just like a hose, a water hose. She'd be singing, Vaya con Dios. She'd be looking around and people would laugh and go, Vaya con Dios, my love, you know. But he was always full of tricks, always had tricks. You know, in a radio station, he'd take the cover off on a mic, put a fly in there, and let it fly around. And he had so many different tricks. I can't think of any others. Can you think of any others?
One morning we did the Today Show, and it was 7:30 in the morning, and they're off the air at 8 o'clock. So we're driving home in the caddy. Remember that? So we're on 42nd and Broadway, and he goes to make a turn, and a truck smashes right into his car. Let's come out and look at everything. Okay, he said to me, don't worry about it. We drove the wreck home.
Yeah, when I first met him in 1963, so you met him way before me. I met him just when he was getting divorced, and he had this big Lincoln.
Yeah, that's it.
The Lincoln. And we would go out on my nights off. I was working 5 nights a week. And this one night we're in the Woodcliff Lake section, I forget what